Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to look at how a totally unexpected agricultural byproduct might just solve one of our biggest modern infrastructure headaches. Think about the roads you drive on every single day. They're largely made of asphalt, which relies heavily on petroleum-based bitumen to hold everything together. But as we all know, relying on fossil fuels is becoming incredibly expensive and environmentally taxing. So today, we're diving into a groundbreaking alternative that could literally change the ground beneath our tires. So what if the secret to cheaper, greener infrastructure actually comes from the sugar industry? I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, right? Using sugar to build highways? But as we're going to see, the science is very real, the economics are incredibly compelling, and the environmental benefits could help us take a massive step away from fossil fuel dependency.
Section 1. The road construction problem. Before we get to that sweet solution, we really need to understand the crisis that's currently squeezing infrastructure budgets all over the globe. Because of geopolitical disruptions in West Asia, the price of conventional petroleum-based bitumen has absolutely skyrocketed. We've gone from $45,000 per ton pre-crisis all the way up to a wildly fluctuating $60,000 per ton today. And you know, when you're paving thousands of kilometers of highway, a jump like that, it literally devastates your budget. It forces delays, cancels projects, and basically costs taxpayers way more money for the exact same stretch of road. We desperately need a way out of this volatile market.
Section 2. A sweet, sustainable solution.
To fight off this fossil fuel dependence, Nikhil Saboo, an associate professor at IIT Roorkee, has spent the last 5 years developing a seriously revolutionary bio-based alternative. And the chemistry here is just fascinating. His team perfected a controlled process to blend 75% virgin bitumen with 25% Class C sugarcane molasses. Now, they aren't trying to just completely replace bitumen overnight. That's incredibly hard to do if you want to maintain structural integrity. Instead, by using this highly specific chemical process, they're extending the virgin bitumen with a heavy dose of molasses. This massively reduces the amount of conventional petroleum you need to lay down a solid, reliable road.
Section 3. The economics of bio-bitumen.
So how does this chemical tweak actually translate into real-world economics? Well, the financial contrast is absolutely staggering. We're talking about partially replacing a raw material tied to global oil markets, which costs roughly 85 rupees per kilo, with a local, superabundant industrial sugar byproduct that costs just 10 to 15 rupees per kilo. Think about that. When you swap out a quarter of your highly expensive binder for something that costs a fraction of the price, the financial dynamics of road building completely change.
By using this bio-bitumen tech, road construction agencies can slash their overall road building costs by up to 20%. 20%! Just imagine what that kind of savings means for a state infrastructure budget worth millions or even billions of rupees. That's money that could be freed up to build 20% more roads, fund better public transportation, or, just reduce the burden on taxpayers. It's an absolute game changer for efficiency.
Now you might be wondering, do we actually have enough raw material to pull this off? Well, yes. India is the world's second largest producer of sugarcane molasses, generating a massive 13 to 14 million tons of it every single year. And this is crucial, right? Because a great scientific solution is totally useless if you can't source the materials at scale. But since India already has this massive sugar industry, this bio-binder taps into a resource we're already producing in staggering abundance. We aren't importing our way out of a problem here. We're taking a domestic byproduct and using it to build domestic infrastructure.
Section 4. Proven performance on the ground.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, sure, this sounds great in theory, but how does it actually hold up for drivers every day? Well, after rigorous lab tests over the past 5 years, they took this tech out into the real world. In November 2022, they laid down a 650-meter trial stretch on a national highway in Uttar Pradesh, plus 2 more stretches in Uttarakhand. And the results? The surface layers using this bio-bitumen have handled heavy traffic loads completely maintenance-free for over 3 years now. It hasn't degraded at all. It's performed flawlessly under the absolute punishing conditions of Indian highway traffic.
And that brings us to another massive advantage. As Professor Saboo pointed out in his proposal, contractors don't even need to buy new equipment. All they have to do is maintain the appropriate mixing temperatures in their existing asphalt plants. This right here is usually the death knell for new construction tech, isn't it? If contractors have to drop millions of rupees on specialized machinery, they just won't adopt it. But this bio-bitumen, it can be mixed in the exact same drum mix plant facilities they already use. The barrier to entry is virtually zero.
Section 5. Karnataka's bio-bitumen future.
Which brings us to right now. The Karnataka government is actively exploring new construction technologies for its rapidly growing infrastructure. Professor Saboo has officially reached out to the state's chief minister and the Public Works Department, and according to government sources, they've already shown genuine interest. He's offering full technical backing from IIT Roorkee to pilot this eco-friendly binder. And Karnataka is already looking into advanced methods anyway, like their recent plans for using ultra-high-performance concrete for elevated corridors in Bengaluru. So they're clearly open to cutting-edge, cost-saving tech. A pilot project there would show exactly how this bio-bitumen holds up under Karnataka's unique climate and traffic conditions.
So, as we look for ways to cut taxpayer costs, insulate ourselves from crazy oil price shocks, and, shrink our fossil fuel footprint, this innovation from IIT Roorkee is just an incredibly compelling path forward. It literally turns a local industrial byproduct into a high-performance, cost-saving asset. It really leaves us with this awesome, thought-provoking question for the next time you hit the highway. Could your next road trip be paved with sugar? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.